Hello, in this video I'm going to symbolize 2.6 LRS 59. Although there are backseat drivers, I will drive unless I'm too tired to drive. I'm going to use the method discussed in finding main connectives in symbolization in this video. This is in the grammar and parsing module. So there's a video and a PowerPoint. Video explains a method that helps us to take apart these complex sentences. You'll find it very helpful, and the PowerPoint shows how to do it as well. So although there are backseat drivers, I will drive unless I'm too tired to drive. So we want to look for the words that we're going to turn into logical symbols, into conjunctions and negations and conditionals. And there are two. There's although, and there's unless. And so we're going to need to figure out how to approach this sentence. We've got, and the trick is just going to be, well, which are we going to symbolize first? Are we going to symbolize the although first? And are we going to symbolize the unless first? And we also need to know how to symbolize an although and how to symbolize unless. This sentence was built either by taking although and combining it with two other sentences already built up, or taking unless and combining it with two other sentences that we'd already built. We have to figure out which one. The first thing we can do is use our removal test, which is where we say, well, let's take away the thing that we think might be the main connective and see what we're left with. And so we take away unless, we're left with two sentences. I'm tired to drive, and although there are backseat drivers, I will drive. So unless passes the removal test, because we might think, well, yeah, how do we build this sentence? Well, first we built I'm too tired to drive, and separately we built this although sentence, and then we stuck them together with unless, and that makes unless the main connective. The thing is, we could also remove the although. And let's see what happens if we do that. We take away the although, and we also have two sentences. We have, there are backseat drivers, breaking at the comma, and then I will drive unless I'm too tired to drive. So this could also be an although sentence. It could be, oh, well, at least as far as we know. It could be, we took their backseat drivers on the one hand, and I will drive unless I'm too tired to drive on the other hand, and stuck them together with although to build the sentence we're looking at. Which one did we do? Which one was it? Well, the sentence breaks, there is this comma. When we have two pieces of vocabulary that both pass this removal test, then the main connective, at least for the purposes of our class, this is in general the case, and it's certainly when we're going to treat it as if it's always the case for us, is that the main connective, when there are two competing ones, two that both pass the removal test, the main connective is the one that makes the sentence break where the comma is. So that because although and unless both pass the test, then the main connective is going to be the one that makes the sentence break here. And what makes a sentence break here where the comma is? The although. And that means that this is an although sentence. And how do we symbolize although? Although is and. Although says, well, this is true, and also that's true. And there's this suggestion that there's some sort of tension or contrast between them, or it's unlikely that they're both true, or something like that. But we don't try to capture that in our symbolization, and we just treat although as and. So this is going to be an and we'll put there are backseat drivers here, and I will drive unless I'm too tired to drive there. There are backseat drivers, that's just atomic X. So one thing this sentence is doing is saying, oh, are there backseat drivers? Indeed there are. And then it also says this thing about, well, when will I drive? When will I drive? Unless I'm too tired to drive. So if this isn't true, then this is true. If that's true, then that's true, or alternately, if that's not true, then that's true. Or what's the same thing, if that isn't true, then that's true, right? If I'm not driving, how did that come about? Well, the only way that could have happened is I'm too tired to drive. So this is a conditional, and then a negation because it's unless. And then it actually doesn't matter which order we do it in, as it turns out, which is a little bit funny, but that's the way unless works. So we can symbolize it like this. If I'm not driving, why is that? How did that happen? It's because I was too tired. Alternately, if I wasn't too tired, then indeed I did drive, or I will drive. So there's the sentence, and that's it. We need to know how to symbolize although and how to symbolize unless, and we need to choose how to pick which one to symbolize first. When they both pass, so we do the removal test. If one and only one of them passed the removal test, we would be done. We would know that was the main connective, and we would symbolize that first. In situations like this, where multiple connectives pass the removal test, then the main connective is the one that makes the sentence break at the comma, and that although is the one that makes a sentence break at the comma, and so that means although is the main connective. And if we did it with a conditional, we would be saying something else. We would be saying, if I don't drive, then there are backseat drivers and I'm too tired. And that's not what this says. This says no matter what, however tired I am, whether or not I drive, there are backseat drivers. And then it also says this conditional. If we put the conditional first, if we did unless first, then we wouldn't be saying categorically that there are backseat drivers. We'd only be saying that there are backseat drivers on condition of I'm not too tired to drive. So this is how to symbolize the sentence. So there you go. That's 2.6 LRS 59.